Hello there, beautiful artists. Welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye, and I post new beginning level acrylic tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So hit subscribe if you'd like to join the fun and paint along. Click the bell icon to get notified when a new video gets posted. Check the description box below for a list of all the materials that you'll need to paint along each week. Okay, let's get started. Hello there, beautiful artists. Today I have for you a lovely, cheerful, sunny sunflower painting. This is dedicated to my late mother. This was her favorite painting of mine that I've been teaching through my classes. So I want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day weekend and dedicate this painting to her. So we're going to start really simple today with a really simple background here, just with a light blue. I have my 3 standard brushes that I'm using. My square brush, I have my medium-sized pointy brush, and also a very small, tiny brush. I'm going to go ahead and put those in my water cup off the screen. I also have paper towels off the screen as well. Okay, and we're just going to start with 2 colors on our palettes. I have here cobalt blue and white. I have 2 little batches of white for myself here. One that I'm going to use in creating my light blue for my sky, and one white to use for my clouds. We're going to take this painting in 2 parts today, so there will be a break about halfway through, or about a third of the way through. So we'll do our sky, then we'll come back and create our sunflowers. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into it. So grab your big brushes. And you'll want just a little bit of water on that brush. If you're new here and you're curious as to what materials you need, check the description box below for a list of all the materials that I recommend. A little bit of blue and white together. You're going to mix a beautiful sky blue. Make sure that this is a light enough blue color. If it's too dark, you're going to have a hard time having a really vibrant yellow sunflower. You might need multiple coats on the sunflower, but you can have bright blue as well. Just might be a little bit more tricky to get an opaque yellow. We'll get there. But for now, let's just do maybe about equal parts of blue and white, and then go ahead and just go back and forth along the top part of your canvas here. Getting it all filled into the canvas texture. A little bit of water helps everything go nice and smooth. I'm going to work my way about a third of the way down. Then I'm going to start adding a little bit of white. Now, I didn't do this in my original so much, but this is something that I like to add. It's just a little something, a little gradation. So we're just going to go from a light blue, to an even lighter blue. Just a little baby gradation here, just one color of blue, working our way lighter. So real subtle, keeping those brush strokes back and forth. Okay. And then just a little bit more white. So the idea is by the bottom, we want to be working with a really light blue. Just getting that all filled in. If you'd like, you can also paint the sides of your canvas. I often like to do that at the end, or if I'm working with a painting that has some sort of silhouette element, sometimes I'll do that then. But with this painting, I think I'm just going to leave them and paint those sides later. Okay, so beautiful, really soft, gorgeous blue gradation here. Very happy with that. Go ahead and rinse your brush now and try to get the majority of the blue out of it. A little bit of blue is okay still. And then with the clean brush, still that same large brush, I'm gonna take my clean white. I'm going to add a little bit of clouds. So I like to do thunderhead clouds. You can do whatever kind of clouds you'd like, though. You can do just puffy clouds. So I'm going to show you guys one of each. So I'm going to do a little thunderhead, and then I'm going to do a little puffy cloud. You can also do like streaky clouds, or you can leave it just totally clear blue skies. Whatever you would like, it is your world and your creation. So to create thunderheads, I'm going to do these sort of curved brush strokes like so, and then sort of scribble my way down from there. And then you can finish off the thunderheads with a few back and forth kind of horizontal brush strokes, and that gives it that nice like flat bottom effect. So that's a thunderhead, just really soft and simple and nice. And then over here I'm just going to do a little scribbly cloud. So you can see just a little bit of texture in this blue here. It's just real nice. So that's not even a thunderhead. That's just a little scribbly cloud action. Okay, it's going to blend with your blue a little bit, and that's sort of the idea. This is called wet on wet blending. Okay, I think I'm going to add just a little bit more kind of scribbly texture right underneath here. You can make it however you'd like. Just kind of breaking it up so that it's not just solid blue. Okay, I like that a lot. That looks really nice. And now actually we're just going to let this layer dry. So I've mostly left this area blank. That's intentionally because that's where my sunflower is going to go. So there's no use in, spending a lot of time creating a cloud here and then just covering it in the second step. So for now, go ahead and just step away, get a little beverage, let this guy dry, and I'll see you all in about 10 minutes. Okay, welcome back. I have a dry, beautiful blue sky here, and I have fresh colors. So I rinsed my brushes, and I also got a fresh palette. I have yellow, 2 whites, a warm brown, a bright grass green, and black. I'm going to use a little trick here to create my sunflower. I'm going to find something circular in my house, or you can go ahead and find whatever you can find that's going to be the right size. I have this roll of art tape, and I'm going to use this to help me block out my sunflower. So this is just a really easy trick to do to create a perfect circle. You can do this with a tape roll, or you can do it with like a pot lid or a teacup or something like that. Lots of different options, lots of different circular things in our houses. So go ahead and place that wherever you'd like to have the center of your sunflower. I'm going to kind of put mine in my left-hand corner here, and then grab your little brush and just a little bit of white, and you're just going to do a real quick outline. Don't worry about making it a super solid line. This is all just going to be like a sketch. Okay. Kind of hard to see over here. Okay, there we go. And let's see, now we're going to use our medium-sized brush. Let's go ahead and switch brushes. You can use your small brush with this next step as well if you'd like a little bit more control, but I am going to use my medium-sized brush. And we're going to mix up a beautiful sunny yellow. So it's going to be yellow mixed with white. A little bit of white in that yellow is going to make the color nice and opaque so that you have a strong, vibrant, beautiful, bright yellow on top of your blue. Okay, now with my medium-sized brush, I'm going to go from all the different sides of the circle that I've created for myself, and I'm going to start creating some petals. So the petal is just going to have a fatter base and then get skinnier as you come out. And I'm just going to kind of trace, sketch out where these are all going to be. what I do is do the first couple, looks like a sun, it's so pretty. The first couple on like, you know, north, east, southwest type deal, and then go in between. That way it makes it much easier to block them out. You do want these petals to be pretty big, pretty long. Very pretty. And they can each be a little bit different too. Makes it look more natural. And then once we get these filled in, or once we get these all laid out rather, we're going to fill them in. Okay. Very nice. So if you were using your baby brush to draw them out, I would switch to my medium-sized brush for filling in, just for sake of time. It will considerably speed up your process. Now remember, I paint a million miles an hour. So don't worry if you're going considerably slower than me. It's totally fine. A lot of these paintings I've done hundreds of times. Even though I'm quite young, I've been teaching acrylic painting for 10 years. And for a while was teaching quite a few classes each week, and also teaching other artists how to teach classes. So some of these, you know, like sunflowers, have been an enduring theme at many of the studios that I've taught at. And they actually happen to be my favorite flower as well. So I love painting this painting. I really, really love sunflowers. I love like red wild sunflowers too. Those are some of my favorites. And one of the versions I have, it's a red sunflower. And that one's really pretty too. So this is just the first row of petals. We're going to have a whole nother second row that kind of pokes out from behind here in just a second. So ideally these guys touch like really pretty close in. A couple of them got a little bit too far spaced, so I can go ahead and fatten those guys up. It's always easier to make it bigger, much harder to shrink things back down. There we go. Okay, that looks great. Now I'm going to rinse the yellow out of my brush, and I'm going to mix up a sort of burnt mustardy color. Burnt umber, which is this reddish brown color. Just on the side here, a nice spicy Dijon mustard color. These are the base colors of our petals. And then these petals are going to go from behind. So I like to start from kind of right in the center of the petal. And then you're going to want to paint this little triangle in, the little peekaboo triangle there. Make sure that it's still yellow and not all the way to brown, because we're going to use brown as one of our shadows, or shadow colors. So we don't want to go too dark yet. These are just the base colors. Acrylic painting is all about layering. It's about creating those shapes, filling them in with the base colors, and then adding highlights and shadows. That's all it's about, folks. If you're a newbie to painting, which most of my students are, I'm creating a course this month called Acrylic Boot Camp. It's going to be make art, not war. I'm going to be going through the basics of acrylic painting, really in depth about layering, highlight, shadows, mixing colors, blending, all kinds of good stuff. And I have a special offer for students. First 50 to sign up to my Patreon are going to get a free copy of that. That's going to go for sale up in June. It's going to be about $40. And my Patreon is just $4 a month. So it's my hope that you're just going to get addicted to painting and find a lot of value in that class. It's just a little bonus for my first crew, my first supporters here. So check the description box below if you'd like to learn more about that. Also on Patreon, we do a monthly Q&A, or as I call it, a Q&Art. That's on the third Thursdays of the month. So if you need a little bit more support, you have some art questions for me, that's a good place for that. You also get bonus projects each month that patrons get to vote on. So this month we're doing a spring garden painting. That's what we've chosen. I'm really, really excited. I'm creating that right now. It's so fun to paint a garden because it's like I've been walking around my neighborhood and looking at all the different flowers and being like, wow, look at those orange tulips. I've never seen such a bright, beautiful color orange. I'm going to put that in my garden. So it's like you're painting it, but it's almost like you're making your own little garden. It's so fun. So anyway, check out Patreon. I call it Pause Premium. Paint Along with Skye, P-A-W-S. So check that out if you want to join the Pause Premium Club. Support me as well. Support the channel. Okay, look at that. That looks so pretty. Already really feeling it. Let's go ahead and retire that medium-sized brush for now. And we're going to add a little bit of highlights and shadows onto these petals. Grab the baby brush. Okay, now we're going to kind of add a little bit of that light yellow into the dark yellow and a little bit of the dark yellow into the light yellow. Okay, so I think I'm just going to go a little bit darker though. Still not brown. Okay, so this is good for developing your color vision too, because it's subtle. But that subtleness, so you see the very subtle color differentiation here between the right out of the bottle brown and the one mixed with yellow. You don't want to go too dark. Walking your way to and from brown and yellow with all those different tones. A little bit darker, a little bit lighter. Okay, so I'm starting with the dark shadow brown color on these back petals. There's going to be quite a few colors that we add. So this is just one of many. And then I'm going to bring that through my yellow petals as well. Really, I'm going to be very light-handed with this though. And just a few brush strokes in each one of these petals. Really just a little bit. Okay. And now let's add some of the bright yellow into these back ones as well. And I'm mostly just going to do the top part of these petals. I'm going to leave the part near the base darker. Looking good. feeling it. We are going to end up doing even more highlights and shadows. There's different ways to blend paint, though. There's wet on wet, and then there's layering. So these are wet on wet, so we're getting a little bit of blending action as we apply the brush strokes. Our colors are blending. But then we're going to use a layering technique to do some really bold highlights and shadows later. Okay, so let's go ahead and leave those alone for now. And we're going to switch back to our medium-sized brush and fill in the center of our sunflower. Okay, so medium-sized brushes. I'm going to start with brown with just a pinch of black. Just a tiny bit. You're just going to go ahead and fill in that whole face of your sunflower. Gosh, this painting makes me feel so happy. How can you look at a sunflower and not smile? I'm going to the garden store this weekend. I might just have to get myself a couple sunflowers. I don't know what I'll find there, whether I'll find potted plants. Might be a little bit too late to start them as seedlings here. I'm not quite sure. We're gonna find out. I know I'm gonna get a salad garden for myself. Some lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers and maybe some basil as well. You're going to want to bring that brown all the way out to come meet your petals. You don't want to see any peekaboo blue. But you're bringing it far enough out to create a nice clean line where they come together. Picked up a little bit of yellow as I'm doing that. I'm just kind of blending that right in. It's totally fine. Okay, look at that. Look at how pretty that is. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of a darker brown. I'm going to create a nice shadow. So this is pretty dark. I'm going to go right in the center here. And just darken that up. Kind of spin my way out. And then along the outside edge. A nice dark shadow. All the way along. You want to blend that in just slightly to the brown as well. Not looking for perfection here. Here we go. If you went too dark in any area, you can add some light brown to balance it. There we go. So we want a dark brown center. And then medium brown is the next layer coming out. And then all the way dark, almost all the way to black on the outside edge. Gorgeous. Okay, that looks great. Let's go ahead and fill in the base color and shape of our gorgeous little leaf on the side too. I'm going to use the same brush and I'm just going to rinse it out. I love this painting. Okay, a little bit of green. You can mix a little bit of yellow in, just so it's not a right out of the bottle color. But I have no problem with that either. On my neighborhood walks, I often notice just how green the green is here and how outrageous and bright the colors are in nature. So don't be afraid of being having bright colors. Okay, so for this leaf, the shape here, we're going to start right in between two of these little leaves. And then we're going to come up a little bit. We're going to have a few little curved brush strokes as we work our way off of the canvas. On this side, again, right in between those two petals, and don't worry about it being a super clean line here because we're going to have a chance to clean that up. It's going to come straight, and then this is going to curve out as well. Coming right off the side of the canvas, and then you'll just go ahead and fill it in with that green. Adjust as needed. Always trying to keep my brush strokes in the direction, all in the same direction of the shape. So moving my brush strokes, keeping them all consistent. A little bit of wet on wet blending. Let's grab some yellow and just do a few brush strokes in there to start to just create some different colors. Okay, let's move to our baby brushes now. We're actually going to go back to our petals. So your petals should be dry to the degree where they're tacky. Not all the way dry, it's fine, because we're going to be working with really similar colors here. So now I'm going to use brown with a little bit of black. This is going to be pretty much the darkest shadow that I use on my petals. I don't like to use black for this. I feel like it's a little bit too strong. And this is certainly the most time-consuming step. But in my opinion, this is also when everything comes together. And once you get the hang of it, it will go pretty quickly. But what we're going to do is outline each of these petals. This is going to give us a chance to get everything nice and clean. I'm kind of just looking at each little individual area and really understanding what petals are in front and what petals are behind, and just making that nice and clear. A nice clean line, differentiating each little petal, and then you can also do a few brush strokes right at the base, and then also on the ends. Just a real light flick of the wrist. That's really going to give nice definition and also some depth. Coming right from the dark brown center, creating those shadows. Just a little brush stroke on each petal. I kind of move my way around here. I try to keep the canvas as straight as I can for you guys, but you don't have to do that. You can move your canvas around. So I have to move myself around. A little bit of water. Acrylic. It's a very versatile medium. You can use a lot of water, like a watercolor, or just a little bit, or none at all really, and you'll just use a lot of paint. But I like the really nice smooth feeling of just a little bit of water. See how that really cleans that up. Each little area. Flick of the wrist, real gentle. If you're painting along today, I would love to see your masterpiece in the art club. The art club is a Facebook group that I've created to go along with this channel. Right away, pretty much, I had people message me and be like, oh, I had so much fun with this painting, and here's a picture of it. And I was like, oh my god, like I loved seeing them and I wanted to share it. So I created the Facebook group, and that's growing at about the same rate as the channel, which is really exciting. I think I've got about a little over 200 people on there right now, but still only a couple months old, so doing good, growing by 10 or 20 people a week. I'll take it. So check the description box below if you're on Facebook, join us there. Also invite your friends. It's not just for Paint Along with Skye, it's for any kind of art. So if you're an artist or a crafts person, maybe you're giving painting a try, but maybe let's say you do ceramics or something, and you're an expert potter but new to painting, then you can post your pottery too. You don't have to just post Paint Along with Skye stuff, but that's why I made it, so that I could see your masterpieces. I really love seeing my students work. It makes me tear up. So please do that. I love to see that. I'm so happy that you guys are finding value in these weekly classes. And I get it too. I dance ballet, but I'm not like a ballerina, like a prima ballerina in any way. I did a little bit of musical theater when I was younger, so I did dance. And I love to dance, and I'm not terrible, but I'm certainly not great. But I love it, and I'm not doing it right now. But when I was, I just it added so much value to my life, even though it sounds simple. The arts they're so important, and it's really my pleasure to offer something similar and help people get in touch with their creativity and relax and have fun each week. So I'm really happy if you're here painting along. Thank you so much, everybody. I love my Paint Along with Skye family already. It's so exciting. Every single petal matters here. Bringing time and care into each one of these little petals. This is such a meditative painting as well. The repetition of it. Just love it. Beautiful. Okay. We are going to add white in a moment, but I want to let this dry a little bit more fully before we add that, and that's really just going to make everything pop. It's my favorite part. Let's go ahead and finish up our leaf. Got my baby brush still, and now I'm going to make a super dark green. This is going to be almost black. You want a nice shadow. And then we're going to outline this just like we've outlined the rest of our painting. This is a very illustratory, like almost cartoony, very my style. This is a painting that I would happily hang in my house. Okay, and then from the center here, we're going to do a curved line. That's really everything for this. That's what gives it that leaf-like shape. And then a few brush strokes going off either side. Curved, keeping everything curved. Curved on this side too. Cute. Also gonna do a little curly Q with the dark green. So as sunflowers grow, they get these great little curly Q branches, or vines rather. I'm actually gonna add two. Cute. It's so cute. I love sunflowers. Got a little bit creative here with this one. Usually I kind of just do the little up and down, but I ended this guy in a little curly Q. Because why not? Let's do that guy in a curly Q too. If you have the kind of sunflower where here at the base you have like some visible blue, you're going to want to put a little bit of green there, because there would be a stalk of this, and it's like so slight that you're not even going to see it in mine. Just like maybe do like a little suggestion of a stalk, because that's right where it would be. So usually you can see in my original, you can see a little bit of green right where the sunflower stalk would be. Okay, let's use some white now and finish off our beautiful masterpiece. Look at how cute this is. This is also such a fun painting to do for like a jean jacket, or a pair of shoes, like a pair of Vans, or like, gosh, you could paint this on anything. Now that you know how to paint sunflowers, you can paint sunflowers everywhere. Okay, so same idea here with the real light, just a few brush strokes. Same idea as many of the other colors that we brought into our petals. That's just kind of bringing everything together and making it really pop. My favorite part, final touches. If you want your painting to look a little bit more realistic, you can also use a light yellow. But again, I'm going for that painterly, stylized, illustrator-y type vibe. Okay, a little bit in every petal. Cute. So lovely. Okay, now here in our center, I want to do a circle of dots. And I'm actually going to use the back of my brush for this, which is a technique that I've done in many paintings. And you're going to go right where your light brown is. And some of the dots will be bigger. And some will be on the smaller side, and these are those seeds. So obviously this is a very simplified sunflower, so we're not getting into the intricacies of the pattern inside of a sunflower, although that's one of my favorite things in the world, is the Fibonacci sequences of flowers. My goodness, so beautiful. Noticed it in daisies. It's another good one. The center, oh, it's so beautiful. In a couple weeks, I'll be teaching a dream catcher painting, and that's sort of a Fibonacci sequence design. But maybe one day in Patreon we'll do a Fibonacci sunflower. It's a little bit more advanced. So we're going to keep it simple here on YouTube. It's always going to be beginner level acrylic painting on Saturdays. I post around noon Pacific time. Everybody's painting on the weekends. Make sure you've hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you hit the bell icon, it'll tell you when I post a video. But it's going to be Saturdays at noon. Beginning level acrylics, just keeping it simple for now. Okay, so cute. I love it. And then I'm just going to use the front of my brush again. Just a few brush strokes here in my leaf. So cute. Okay, you guys, that's it. We have finished our beautiful masterpiece. Let me know what you thought of today's painting in the comments section. And that's all I have for you guys today. So until next time, stay creative. So what did you think of today's tutorial? Let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to see your beautiful works of art in the Art Club Facebook group. And if you feel like you need a little bit more support, or you'd like to support the channel, or both, check out Pause Premium, which is my Patreon account. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay creative.